Well, the Browns are going to be playing another game, and the Browns probably are going to be losing another game, but we'll talk about it in just one moment. Oh. All right, let's stop that. All right, welcome back to Browns Breakdowns. Proud partners here of Fanatical Elves Network, Fans First Sports Network, and starting off on a great. Let me find it. There we go. And of course, Hemisphere Coffee. I was way off. Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. If you use this referral code right here, we get 15%. Greatest coffee you'll ever have. I don't think you can order it now and get it by Christmas, but if you live in the Columbus area or in that Cleveland area and you are near them, you can buy them still. Greatest coffee you'll ever taste, regardless of if you buy it for Christmas or not. So, on to the actual show itself. The Browns are going to be playing the Bengals tomorrow at noon. It's a pretty, how do you put this, completely useless game. There's absolutely no weight to this game. Now, I know people want weight to be there, but let's be honest here, there is absolutely no weight to this game. It means completely nothing. Now, to the players, it probably means stuff. Yes, I know, but to the business side of the NFL, it doesn't, and especially teams, it doesn't mean anything. We really want. I know this sounds terrible, but we really want to lose this game. All we do is if we win this game, is just ruin our draft selections even more. We don't need to win this, and we don't need to win next week. All we need to do is lose and keep our top 6, top 7 draft pick for when the draft comes around. That's all we need to do. There's no reason to win this, and I'd much rather have a good draft pick and good trade potential over a win against the Bengals. So it is a noon game tomorrow I almost said at 12. Oh, it's not the second to last. We still have 3 games. Whoops. Second to last? And whatever. I in the title it might say second to last. Hopefully it doesn't. But I may have made a mistake. So anyway, regardless of what time it is played, we really don't have any reason to win this game. It just doesn't. Neither do the Bengals. The Bengals don't really. Actually, I think the Bengals, if they win this game and then they beat the Dolphins and beat the Ravens, or I'm so stupid. If they win their next 3 games, I think the Bengals still have a shot at the playoffs. I don't know if it's changed by the last 2 games that just happened, Chiefs and Texans and Ravens and Steelers, if the Bengals still have a chance to get in. But if they do, they actually have something to play for. Let me check the playoff standings really quickly to see if the Bengals are going to have any shot at making it yet. We've got the Bengals they have a 13% chance if they win. So if they lose, they're out. But they could make it if they win. Right now, the playoff picture is mostly filled for the AFC, and they're still missing a lot of things for the NFC, which is pretty interesting to see. But the NFC is going to come down to the final, more or less, week of the season before it's solved in its playoff picture. I didn't have this coughing problem when I started. Like, literally, it was 1 minute before starting, and I did have this problem. Average podcast experience. Anyway, Browns are going to play the Bengals at noon. It's going to be a interesting game, but hopefully one we lose. We are going to be in Cincinnati. The Dolphins is going to be the last home game of the season. So the Browns are going to play the Bengals at Cincinnati. Then they're going to play the Dolphins in Cleveland, and then the Ravens in Baltimore. So those are your next 2 weeks. We don't really care about that. We just care about this game. So let's do the injury report. Let me make sure I have it. I do. Let's do the injury report really quickly. Not a whole lot for the Browns. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of weird seeing only a few. But right now, you've got Martin Emerson, who's concussion. DNP Wednesday, limited Thursday, Friday. He's questionable. You could keep him at questionable, probably. I don't know if he'll play because concussion is something they'll keep you out for. Finley Harris, elbow, he's DNP all 3 days. He's officially out. David Njoku, hamstring, DNP Wednesday, Thursday, limited Friday, questionable. He probably could be moved to doubtful. I wouldn't be shocked if he does not play. Don't expect a whole lot of a... and if he does play, don't expect a whole lot out of him. Cedric Tillman, concussion, limited all 3 days. He's questionable. Yeah, I don't know what will happen with him. Maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. Jameis Winston, he was full practice on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, limited. He's questionable. I think but DTR is going to start, so it doesn't really matter that much. Now, the Bengals have a lot of unspecified players. We don't care about them as much. Now, remember also, the Browns, you might, again, because the Browns season is over, so if someone is hurt, like a hamstring injury for David Njoku, expect him to be out simply because, not because he couldn't play, but because the Browns didn't need him to play, and it would be, I guess, disadvantageous to start the guy who's already a little bit hurt for a meaningless game. So some of these people who are questionable might be out when if this was week 16 like it is, but the Browns were 9-8 or not 9-8, like 9-5 or whatever, they would play instead of be out. So just expect that because they aren't playing for anything. So injuries that they could play through, they aren't. For the Cincinnati Bengals, offensive tackle Orlando Brown, fibula injury. He's DNP Wednesday, Thursday, limited on Friday. He's questionable. Again, same thing. He might be out. Alex Kappa, concussion, limited Wednesday, Thursday, full on Friday, questionable. He'll probably play. Sam Hubbard was a DNP on all 3 days. He's out. Tanner Hudson was limited on Thursday, DNP on Friday. He is also out. Charlie Jones has a very generic name, RIP. He's a wide receiver with a groin injury, limited all 3 days. He's questionable. And then you have Sheldon Rankins, who's illness, DNP all 3 days. He is officially out. So those are your injury report. Again, a lot of these questionables will probably turn into outs simply because neither team, well, the Browns aren't playing for anything. The Bengals are still playing for something, but the Browns are not. So a lot of these DNPs, people who were DNP'd or were limited, might be out instead of playing because there's nothing to play for. So let's do the advertisements really quickly, and then we will get right back to everything else. Let me pause my music really quickly. So we'll be right back. And we're back here on Browns Breakdowns, Proud Partners Vernacular Elves Network. So, anything else about this game we need to talk about? Not really. It's not really anything going on right now. Everything is just the Browns being the Browns, and we'll get to see DTR in a limited capacity, not because he's going to be limited, but simply because the team around him is going to be limited. He's not starting with all of the best wide receivers possible that the team can offer. So he's not going to be playing up to his full potential, whatever that is. There is no we don't know his full potential, but he's going to be playing to a limited capacity simply because he's not going to have the full, I guess, skill potential of the surrounding offense due to a variety of things, injuries, people just simply not playing, and other stuff. So right now, the Browns are, I don't actually have the draft pulled up. I don't think it tells us right now. Let me just look up NFL draft placement and see if it tells us. Draft order. Here we go. Well, this was 5 days ago, so it's not perfectly accurate. But currently, the Browns hold the number 7 pick. So right now, they have the number 7 pick. It has us as the final 3-11 team. Everyone else is 4-10 or higher. So right now, the Jaguars, Titans, Panthers, Patriots, Raiders, and Giants are ahead of us as the picks ahead. Now, number 7 is quite good, I will say. Number 7 is a good place for a pick. It's not great. It's not bad. It's kind of a okay position. Now, I would have liked a better pick. I would have liked probably top 5. It still is a possibility to get top 5. There's no nothing, we're not out of the top 5 pick, but 7 is looking like the most likely. Now, I have not done a whole lot of scouting. I probably won't do a whole lot of scouting, but the Browns right now need defense, offensive line, and quarterback. There are I've gotten a lot of flack for this from a variety of people, but I still think Cam Ward is a good quarterback. I haven't done terribly much scouting on him. I will do some more scouting on him once the season ends. And then obviously Shedeur Sanders. Now, Shedeur Sanders, I'm unconfident in, not because I think he's a bad player, but I think the system is very, very tailored to his style of play, considering he's under his father. Now, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just am not sure what the fall off might be if Shedeur Sanders comes into the NFL and is put under a system that is not directly tailored to everything he's good at and tailored against everything he's bad at, right? Because in the Colorado offense, he's being coached by his father, who probably, and he's a good player. He's not bad, but I just don't know if he's going to get any worse, if he's going to lose, if he's going to get worse transferring into a new system, and if he's going to get worse playing against the top of the top in the NFL instead of college football players. Now, that's a worry you could have for every NFL or every college quarterback, is how are they going to handle the skill transition. But right now, I think Shedeur Sanders probably is the best quarterback. I don't know if I want him personally. I'd like to see him in a game where he is not coached by not by Shedeur Sanders, by Deion Sanders, but that's probably never going to happen until he gets drafted. Now, what would be my optimal would be, I think drafting Shedeur Sanders could be cool, though. I think if the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, I wouldn't complain. I'm not sure he's even going to fall to number 7. Let's be honest here. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants at 1 pick up Shedeur Sanders, and if they don't, I also wouldn't be shocked if the Raiders do it. And then the Patriots the Patriots don't really need a quarterback, nor do the Panthers, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Titans take him, or the Jaguars even. Probably not the Jaguars, but before the Browns, the Giants will take him, the Raiders will take him, and the Tennessee Titans will all take him before the Browns can get there. Now, that's in the future. For now, the game, I got a little distracted. Let's do my stat predictions. So for the Browns, it's going to be a bad game. I'm going to say DTR, 190 yards on 19 completions, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I don't think he's going to do very good. I just am not Chris. I'm not very confident in it. Now, Nick Chubb, I'm going to say, not Nick Chubb, my fault. I'm so used to saying that. Jerome Ford will be playing. I'm going to say Jerome Ford, 13 carries for about 68 yards, 70 yards, somewhere around there. Probably even less yards, actually, more like 50 or 60. But 13 carries for, let's just say, 60 yards. Defensively, I think we'll have 4 sacks. I'm going to say 2 of them will go to Myles Garrett, maybe even 3, depending on how he does. I think Myles Garrett could get upwards of 3 sacks because he's really good, and the offensive line for the Bengals is pretty in shambles right now. But that's 1 touchdown plus a field goal, so 10 points. I'm going to say it's going to be pretty bad. Bengals, on the other hand, I'm going to say Joe Burrow, 26 for 35 for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm going to say they run the ball for a touchdown. Obviously, he's going to get sacked a few times. But on the Bengals defense, they're going to obviously have those 2 interceptions. I wouldn't be shocked if they have a fumble as well, because why the hell not? And then might as well throw in maybe 4 sacks for the Bengals. So that's 21. So 24-10 is going to be your final score for the Browns-Bengals game. Bengals on top. Penalty-wise, by the way, I'm going to say Browns 6 for 50, Bengals 7 for 65 penalty-wise. But that's my prediction. I don't really have much more time now. Thank you all for tuning in. We've only got 2 more games in the season. That's crazy. And so I will be back on hopefully the 25th. We'll see. I don't know when exactly I'm going to record because I probably will be able to record it on Monday, but we'll see. But I hopefully will be back on the 25th, but might be back earlier depending on when the episode is recorded. But thank you all for tuning in. Go Browns. I know it's been rough, but go Browns regardless. I love you all, and I will talk to you guys. Let me fix the music so I can pull your ears out in the next episode. So peace.